There are two kinds of people I respect in this world. Those who hang in there in tough times, and those who are willing to change course if need be, if they find themselves in a rut. I admire students who carry through with their major that they declared. And I admire the students who change their majors when they discover it's just not for them, it's just not who they are, no matter the pressure to continue. I celebrate those who persevere in difficult times and those who muster the courage to change, to try to live their lives in a different way when this way has been found wanting. How reconcile these two seeming opposites? Insanity has been described as when you keep doing the same thing while expecting different results. Peace in the Middle East. We want it, right? But all we do is keep bombing each other, thinking this is ever going to change anything. We want to step back, maybe, from drugs, alcohol abuse. We've been doing too much, too long, too often. We hear people complain, they send up the warning flares for us about it, but we keep hanging out with the same people all the time who keep doing drugs and alcohol with us every weekend. We want things to change, we keep doing the same things with the same people. Ain't gonna work. We want deeper faith. Yeah, sure, I want deeper faith. We want it, we really do. But we keep doing what we've always done. We've always gone to Mass on Sunday, so we do that. But we don't do anything different. We don't add a retreat to a semester. We don't pick up a spiritual reading book or a little extra few minutes to pray sometime in that week. We just do what we've always done, and we keep saying we wanted more, a deeper faith. Duh. We want better grades. We keep flagging the same test and the same course over and over again. And yet we keep studying the same way we always did, without asking for help, thinking this just might change on the next test. Hello? We want better relationships, huh? Deeper friendships. We keep having the same conversations like we always had them, stayed on the same level as we've always been. Nobody ever asking the deeper question, the more vulnerable question. For fear we might offend somebody or we might get hurt, but we keep doing the same things and think somehow, someday I'm going to have a great friendship. Marriage. So many people I know who are married wish they had better marriages. They're doing the same thing 20 years later that they were doing 20 years ago. They could add a marriage enrichment weekend. They could pick up a book. They could set up some quality time, even a date night with 3 kids. Oh, they might have to get a babysitter. Well, but that's not what they're choosing. They just kind of hope they get a better marriage someday. Insanity is when we keep doing the same things while expecting different results. If that's true, I dare say that we're all a little bit insane sometimes. This gospel is for those of us who need to take a look at our lives and perhaps make a different choice. For many of us, that choice might be about fishing from the other side of the boat than the side we've been fishing on. Doing things a little different than we've always done them. Different ways, different attitudes. It's not easy to change those things, you know, to give up the way we've always done it this way. We're tempted to keep the status quo. Don't upset your parents, whatever you do. Don't rock the boat in your marriage or in your priesthood or in your friendships. Keep things the way they are. Keep getting back to normal. Back to business as usual. That's what the apostles are doing here. They got back that morning to what they always did. They got back to work. They got back to normal. It was beginning to be all they had to show for Easter. Jesus could see that that choice was yielding nothing. Jesus could see that there was nothing on this side and a whole lot on the other side. Jesus could see that all their labors all the night long were unsuccessful. That all they were doing was unproductive, even though they were the experts, even though they knew how to do it. They were likely angry and frustrated in this scene. So all they could muster from this suggestion from this stranger on the shore, all they could muster was no. We tried everything. And Jesus replies, well, no, you really haven't. You really haven't tried everything. Life just might be on the other side. And it might come to us in the voice of a stranger who looks at us from afar and who sees more of us than we can see of ourselves, and who sees more of what we're doing than we ourselves are able to see of what we're doing. So this stranger from the shore says to each of us, as he said to them, how you doing? How you doing? Are you well? How you doing in your work? How's your work going? Are you happy in your job as a teacher? As a lawyer? As a housekeeper? As a salesperson? As a researcher? As a writer? Are you happy as a student? Are you satisfied with the results of your work? Do you get pleasure, satisfaction from what it is you think you do best? Children, he said to them, have you any fish? Children, do you have anything to show for what you spend most of your life doing? From what you think you're good at, maybe even best at? Children, have you any fish? Have you anything to show for how you spend your time? What is your answer tonight? Too often we have too little to show for all our energy and all our labor and all our imagination and all our investment. We put into our lives and our work so much, and we have sometimes nothing to show for it. It takes an awful lot of maturity to be able to say that. To say with the apostles, we've worked all night and we have nothing to show for it. Then he says to us, cast your net on the other side and you will find life. Left side? Right side? That's not the point. The point is the other side. Whatever side you're laboring on right now, it's on the other side that life is waiting to happen for you. And Jesus is inviting you tonight to cast your nets on the other side. So give it a try. And bingo, 153 fish. Not 10, not 50, not 100, but 153. The big ones. Abundance. They didn't get away this time. What would happen if we dreamed our lives differently than we have up until now? I remember back to last November, December. Kathy Moody and I went for one of our monthly walks. Monthly walks we've been having for some 16 years now. Only this time she said something different. She said, "You know, Gary, I think it might be time for me to move on now." And I thought to myself, what? You're so good at this. And it's almost like she heard this stranger from the shore who saw her and said, "Time to try the other side." And so she mustered the courage and the confidence it takes to do that, to trust that invitation. A couple of weeks back, I was at the seminary, and I was talking to a seminarian who asked if we could go for a walk. He is somebody who's really enjoying his life as he prepares closer and closer to being a priest. But his story is unusual in some ways, but not so much anymore. He was an engineer, got his degree in engineering, had a great and lucrative job in engineering. But he found it somewhat wanting. He found his spirit getting more and more restless. And he heard that same stranger in that same voice saying, maybe it's time to try fishing on the other side. You know, on Easter Sunday here, if you were in town, you know that some family stepped up in our community and dared you to give whatever you could in the collection that day, and they would match it. Now, I got to tell you, when I first heard about this, the Easter before last was the first time, I resisted this idea. I was like Peter and the rest on that boat, saying, you know, we've tried everything, and I don't want to pester people. It's not in me to do this. But I lost that vote. And we tried fishing the other side. And you gave on Easter Sunday $46,000. This community mustered $46,000 that got matched. Thank you. I was wrong to insist on fishing over here. Life on the other side doesn't mean you have to change your career or your city or your degree. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Because this other side might be right here, right now, as you move through the life that is yours to live. There is an enormous abundance there, and if you're not knowing it, there might be another way you can do what you're doing that would be doing the other side. And finding what was there all the time, what was teeming underneath, that you didn't even know because you were doing it this way for so long. Children, have you any fish? Have you any satisfaction, any pleasure? Have you success? Have you achieved what it is you spend so much of your life doing? We all know that in some way or another, at least a little way, we probably have to say no, in all honesty, no. Then the response to our response comes. Then try the other side. Cast your net into another place, another area. Try something else, something new, something different. If that is you, and I believe it's all of us on any given day, really, then Jesus is offering you a chance to try the other side tonight. He's offering you and me new life. New life to us who are trapped in the routines of our lives up until now, who are trapped in making a living instead of making a life. He is offering us tonight freedom from the routine and the ruts, from always doing what we've always done and always getting what we always got. He's offering us a chance tonight for a little bit more life, more overflowing than it's been up until now. And isn't that what we're all looking for? Isn't that what we all want? Why not give it a try? Anything else would be insane.